detected.
Well, you seemed pretty exhausted.
It's good to be out and about. Sometimes.
Did you need something?
Liftoff initiated.
Orbital pattern locked in. Don't you jump!
Starship Frontier, United Colony secured. Maintain course and prepare to be scanned. Scan complete. You're cleared to land at Gagarin.
Hey, Dad. Want to hear a joke?
Sure, sweetie. Your man can always use a laugh.
Okay. Who can jump higher than a skyscraper in New Atlantis?
I don't know.
Everybody! Skyscrapers can't jump!
Okay. Good one, Cora. Hey, next time you see Barrett, try it on him.
Landing struts primed. Retros fired.
Yarn has always been a bit of a pit in my stomach. I know it wasn't related to
Broken
anything.
ID. Service security.
I was just thinking that this is about what Irvin saw all those years ago when he arrived. He probably stood here thinking that he was going to make things better. He had a good heart. We need to reopen the case. See if there's anything that was overlooked the first time. We've done some legwork remotely, but we need to do some good old-fashioned investigating now. Hopefully it will be enough to clear Irvin's name. The more things change, right? Maybe it wasn't the exact same view, but there's probably an atom or two somewhere that was here on that day. If we're lucky, maybe we can ask it for directions. Ellie Yankton. She worked on Irvin's previous case. Ellie is one of the few lawyers on this planet who's willing to take on the mining corporations in court. I sent that to our lawyer already. I asked her to confidentially review what we found. Yes, but listen. Nobody will stand up against the mining corporations around here. They're scared. She didn't want to lose the case, but she didn't have a lot to go on. Thanks to us, now she does. Right. She said she would meet us at our office when we arrive. Hopefully she can tell us what we need to do in order to clear Irvin's name. Let's stick together, though. Gagarin isn't a huge town, but it's not the kind of town that I want to get lost in.
Welcome. Got anything you need to offload? Trade. I'm sure you can find something you like.
Met construction is a dead industry, Chief Pretorius. Those jobs aren't coming back.
Well, well, well. Barrett, you're actually here. Astounding.
Ellie! Ellie, come on. I promised we'd stop by, didn't I?
People make promises all the time, Barrett. And most folks try to avoid Gagarin, not visit it. Anyway, I'm glad you made it out here. We have work to do, don't we? It's not a resort. It's a working town run by mining corporations. You don't come here unless you need to, and you don't stay unless you have to.
Or unless you're a bright-eyed, optimistic lawyer who genuinely wants to make things better for others. Right, Ellie?
You're kind, Barrett. Yes, I suppose there's that type of person as well. Yes. It was my first case as a bright-eyed, optimistic lawyer.
Well, starting your career with a defeat is rough, Ellie.
It was. But in a way, it made me more determined. Not exactly, but similar cases. A corporation commits a crime and needs a scapegoat, so they select someone powerless to target.
The quintessential Gagarin tale.
Indeed. Down to business. Perfect. What do you already know?
So we already know that Irvin worked for Hephaestus Mining Company years ago, and they blamed him for catastrophic economic and ecological issues here on Gagarin.
Yes. He lost his case because he didn't defend himself, and we had almost no evidence without him.
I recall receiving a message asking him to appear in court a day after his funeral.
An unfortunate reality of interplanetary legal communiques, I'm afraid. He was publicly blamed for the economic woes, and his accounts were seized in compensation.
His account on Gagarin specifically. It was just the amount he was paid years ago for the job.
Right. They would have taken his assets and other settlements, but by law, his death prevented it. Well, we can bring the case to a judge here if we have new evidence or a witness.
What about the evidence we found so far?
Yes, well, about that. It's just not enough. Not on its own, no. It's circumstantial. Helpful to support our claim, but not enough. Best case scenario, we clear his name and his assets are returned, plus additional compensation. In order for me to go before a judge, I'd like to have some solid evidence pertaining to motive. The courts won't entertain a challenge to its ruling unless we're sure that something major was missed in the original trial.
What was the motive from the original trial?
We had no solid motive after our witness withdrew his testimony. Yeah, we need something major. Documentation, recordings, a witness, something.
It's been so long. How could we find anything like that?
I've thought about this a lot since the original case. The mine that Irvin worked at was shuttered in 2309. They probably still have documents relating to whatever happened there with him.
Not really. All I know is that it's a Hephaestus mine from 20 years ago, somewhere on Gagarin.
I don't have a couple decades to wait for you to search them all, so we'll need to narrow it down. Not necessarily. To Hephaestus, it might be cheaper to run away and let the dust bury it all. That's where you come in. I don't know which mine he worked at when the incident took place. In theory, you could find that information on a Foundry terminal, if you can access it. You'll need a passcode. That's the hard part. Besides the Foundry records, there also might be something in Irvin's apartment. If he knew he was being framed, he might have held on to some documents there.
Dear Diary, today we created an ecological disaster and then blamed it on an off-worlder. Love Hephaestus.
Funny. But you'd be surprised how often people write down things that get them into serious trouble.
Oh, do tell.
For comparison, I just finished a case against another company that was charged with illegally dumping waste near the town's water supply. Their permits specified a site that would have cost twice as much fuel, so they sent a memo to the driver to dump it at the first available location just outside of town.
They actually wrote that down. Classic. I'm not much of a cat burglar, but I do have a cat suit somewhere, now that you mention it.
That is definitely not necessary, Barrett.
Dress for the job you want, not the job you have, right?
Good grief.
Fair enough. I think I loaned it out anyway. So, Ellie, there has to be a way for us to get those records easily, right?
I have heard that there are terminals in the foundry that can be accessed with passcodes. And I happen to know that miners always have passcodes on them. Do with that information as you will. Hopefully that's enough to work with for now. If you'll excuse me, I have to get some court documents ready for this case.
The Foundry District isn't too far from here.
Are you...
Are you selling something or what? I'm not buying though, so... Friend, I don't get paid to chit-chat about work. That information is confidential. I'm glad you understand the position I'm in here. I'm trying to be reasonable here. Sorry, but I can't. You need to get out of here before somebody reports you for whatever you're doing.
Coordinates look valid to me. Imagine Irvin thinking the same thing all those years ago. Just a job, right? Well, at least we know where to keep looking, right? Essentially any documentation that screams, Irvin isn't guilty, we made it up. This is what we do. We're explorers, adventurers. But yeah, other than that, it's my fight. I don't want to get anyone else involved. I guess we'll see what state the mine is in. It's possible they collapsed it before they left. We just won't know until we get there. If that's the case, we'll just have to figure something out. What about this safe? I bet it's... Still chugging along. I think it is. Is that Irvin's employment contract? Let me see. We've already got the coordinates to mine H363. But this will still solidify the fact that he was there. All right, we've got some solid leads, it looks like. The employment contract and the hunting license at Town Hall. And as the lawyer, she's probably right. The burden of proof is sky high on this one. It's likely already in orbit. It was a bit strange going through Irvin's old things, though. I was hoping for some old pictures, but nothing. What's that you have there? A plant? No, but I did find a few slates that might give us a clue. As well as a reminder to finish a physics paper that I never did. Beautiful and resilient, as extremophile plants tend to be. Although this self-sustaining habitat dish gets some of the credit. I bet it could survive without care for a long time. I'm not sure. It might not even be a plant. It might technically be a fungus. But there's probably a reason why Irvin tried his best to keep it alive. When we get back home, I'll go through some of his research notes. It might tell us something more about this plant. Hopefully it's not poisonous. Witchcraft, probably. But if you want a more scientific explanation, I have a couple of theories. It could go through states of hibernation, or draw moisture from the air the way epiphytic plants do. There's also that habitat dish Irvin set up for it, which gave it light and nutrients. Still, I'm not ruling out witchcraft. No, maybe not. But it helps me. Irvin was the last person to handle this plant. It mattered to him. No matter how the case goes, this warms my heart. I didn't expect to find it, but I love that I did. In any event, I'll go through Irvin's notes in more detail later. There's probably a flowchart somewhere with this little guy's name on it. Oh, on that note, we should give it a name. I'm thinking something simple, yet refined. What do you think of Harvey? Then it's unanimous. Okay, the three of us should get back to it. You, me, and Harvey have a case to solve.
been an uptick in strong.
Stuff fast and get out of here. I'm anxious to see the stars again.
Hello. Hell of a view from here. You keep installing new cool things in your ship. It's like Christmas every day.
Let's go find Irvin and help him back.
My arm! Seriously?
Destruction of the bacterial colonies, not the apex predators. Seems like Helgi tried to do the right thing here. plan, Captain?
We're asking everyone to take care of any leeches on their ships. We don't want any.
Man,
Nor me. I'm nobody. Nobody at all. What? There must be a mix-up. That sounds downright civilized. Everyone has a bounty on their heads these days. That's a fair point. Maybe I'm catastrophizing here. Maybe I can handle the penalty. Finally! I can't live like this anymore either! I'm ready to make things right! What a relief!
Welcome back, detectives.
As I'm sure you know.
Yes, I've been reviewing it. Sit down. Let's have a chat about it. Welcome back, you two. How was the trip to the mine?
You're gonna love this, Ellie.
Okay, someone better tell me. Come on.
We found the coordinates to Irvin's old work site and went there. Huge battle. Fire, explosions. Pew, 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 pew.
Barrett, please.
You should have seen the plants in there, too. Weird stuff. Anyway, you read over the documents we found there, right? What do you think?
What you both found in that mine is remarkable. These documents show that the chemicals released by the mining process contaminated the ecology even before Irvin was tasked with removing the predators. And they also show that Helgi informed Hephaestus of the issue, and it was repeatedly ignored. And with that, I think we've got ourselves a case, my friends.
Yes! That's what I wanted to hear, Ellie. Woo!
Yes, but it's still likely to lose. Because what we really need now is Helgi as our witness, and that is a problem. Helgi isn't an ideal witness at all. He was our star witness the first time, and he never showed up. Plus, he's got a reputation around town. After he quit, he went a bit weird.
I can handle a bit weird. I know the captain can, too.
Clearly. But the judge might feel differently. It might be worth finding some character witnesses, too, while you're looking for him. I'm glad you're taking it in stride. It's just, for a case with this much science, we need the man who wrote the claims to back them up. Maybe even explain it in layman's terms. That's also a bit tricky. He's hard to find. Doesn't really stay in one place for long. We could, but I think we'd lose the case, bluntly. We can verify these documents are real, but Hephaestus can counter by attacking Helgi's character. They'll label him a disgruntled employee and then find a dozen independent scientists to confirm Irvin was at fault. But with Helgi in court, he can explain the science and help me challenge any countering theories during cross-examination. You might ask Dr. Kayala. She checks up on folks who fall through the cracks sometimes. You'd have to convince her to tell you where he is. That might be hard.
Sounds like we're making a stop at the med clinic. We'll be back when we convince Helgi to be a witness.
Listen, if he refuses, then he refuses. Can't force him.
Yeah, we don't want to press him too hard. The last thing we need is him refuting what he wrote. This is going to take a light touch, but I think we can handle it.